So this little kid is the Maclolm X. He born in Omaha in the year 1925. When he was young, his family changes a lot of the homes due to the threat by the Ku Klux Klan. And his father was a Baptist preacher and he was allegedly murdered by a white supremacist group, Black Legionaries, a more violent version of Ku Klux Klan. At the age of 6, Maclollum's mother suffered a nervous breakdown. Maclollum was a highly intelligent and was a good student, but unfortunately he dropped out of the school following 8th grade. Then he started to wearing zoot suits and dealing drugs. At the age of 21, Maclolum was ended in the jail due to the robbery for 6 years. Then after 6 years, how this Maclolum became a charismatic personality and how his oratory skills helped him achieve the national prominence in the Nation of Islam and the Black Nationalism. Maclolm X was a powerful presenter, a passionate man of strong belief and charismatic bearing. For today's generation, Maclollum's speech presentation is a textbook on how to sway an audience. So most of my favorite orators are the black peoples like King Martin Luther King, Maclolm X, and Barack Obama, and many others. It is a fact that a black man with a knowledge is 1,000 times more stronger than a black man with a weapon. And all of the great orators have one thing in common, that is the knowledge. Yes, it's knowledge. It's a knowledge which makes a great orator. So Maclolm X was a voracious reader and he developed this reading habit right in the jail. He often says that you couldn't have gotten me out of the books with a wedge. He used to provide his own reportage, speaking authoritatively about the oppressions of the black peoples based on his own traveling and observation. And he also wrote the multitude books on those topics when he came well after his trip to the Middle East, Africa and Europe. Maclolum was very good at reading his audience mind. He basically focused on their needs, concern, desire, hope. Maclolum taught us that the public speech shouldn't be attempted until the speaker has something important to say.
In Alabama, in these places. You don't get freedom peacefully. Freedom is never safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom.
He always grabbed the attention of the audience by framing the issue in a very colorful language. You can say a dramatic interpretation.
We have the wrong color skin. We are not human beings unless we ourselves band together and do whatever, however, whenever is necessary to see that our lives and our property is protected. And I doubt that any person in here would refuse to do the same thing were he in the same position.
One of the way which he used for his public speaking is that he always talks with a bounce. He is totally non-stop. He says that my technique is non-stop and what I want to get said is said. Often Maclolum kept a main-spirited remark in his just back pocket so that sometimes he could use it to crush an opponent in the eyes of the audience. So mostly he uses a grabber line, a bouncer line for his opponents. I mean the white peoples.
Now we have to have some clothes now. Our children have to go to school and we need some place to work. So whatever kind of action program can be devised to get us the things that are ours by right, then I'm for that kind of action no matter what the action is.
I just observe some minor details in his speech, which makes his speech more effective and more influential. For example, just look at the pauses which he takes between the sentences.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or
in my conclusion, I'm a Muslim. I believe in the religion of Islam. I believe in Allah. I believe in Muhammad. I believe in all of the prophets.
Now look at the repetition of the words which he uses again and again.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Here sometimes he stretches the last word, pronouncing deeply.
Being criminally treated, that some criminal has the right to tell that man, so whatever kind of action program, I am going to use whatever necessary to get that criminal, but we are not nonviolent with anyone.
Despite the fact that you've done nothing, he tells you.
This is the script which I'm having right now, which he delivered in the year 1963 in a city, I think so, Detroit. And let's just see the principles or the steps which I mentioned above that till how much extent Maclolm X uses those techniques or steps in his speech. Not fully, but mostly. So this script will be displayed in front of the screen, and behind the back the voice of Maclolm X will be played. So just observe that how Maclolm X turned this boring script full of words into a very beautiful speech through his technique.
Language that everybody here can easily understand. We all agree tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is us. We're her problem. The only reason she has a problem is she doesn't want us here. And every time you look at yourself, be you black, brown, red, or yellow, a so-called Negro, you represent a person who poses such a serious problem for America because you're not wanted.
So one of the amazing things that Maclolm learned these skills. He himself says that he learned those speaking skills. A person who was just a school dropout and ended up in jail during his teenage years, but he never ever gave up and started reading the books, observe and learn from the environment. And one day he really became a great leader due to this oratory skills which he learned. So it's a very great message for all of us.